Welcome. You are listening to the Suspense Files on the Sister Speak Show. The Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Sister, spiritual inspiration shared through the arts. Sister, spiritual inspiration shared through Ayana, but you better call me Sister Speak. Welcome to my first-time listeners, and welcome back to my faithful listening audience. Two things that you will need for tonight's episode. The Residents of Evil, the Nightmare Nurse. The two things that you will need is water and scuba gear. Water for reflective healing power, gasoline. You can't go without gas. And we don't want you to faint. And we definitely don't want you to fall. Not on the Suspense Files. And also you will need scuba gear because we dive deep. We go deep, so deep. And we want you to be able to sustain yourself while underwater. We need you to breathe. So that apparatus is going to assist you for wherever we go, when we go. The Suspense Files. Covering who, what, when, where, why in urban crime, deadly relationships, mystery, obsession, kidnapping, adultery, urban cold cases, and more. Intrigue is what has you here. The title alone has you wanting to see what's going on. And we've got you covered with The Residents of Evil, the Nightmare Nurse. You've been to the doctor. You have encountered a nurse. Some of you even may be a nurse. The question on the table is, are you the nightmare nurse? Only some, not all. We understand. This episode is also rated R for strong content, language, thoughts. Understand this, brothers and sisters. The nightmare nurse is one that you need to be aware of because they fly beneath the radar. They are sinister, covert, and they know how to assimilate and then camouflage themselves in the medical industry, in homes, nursing homes, pretending to assist, but really assisting in some people's murder and downfall. Making those who are sick, sicker. Making something that should be better, worse. How so? Administering evil. They have their own ways of doing what they do. And we're going to highlight that this evening with these clips that I have for educational purposes only to raise awareness of the nightmare nurse. You never know who is walking into your room. You're trusting, sometimes too trusting. You don't know who's answering that ad for in-home care. You don't know who this person is that you feel like you ran a full background check on. And guess what? Sometimes the nightmare nurse is an imposter, absolutely no certification, never once had any training, but they have infiltrated, as I aforementioned, into the medical industry only to express their sociopathic ways and to lure victims in, and they do get money. You'd be amazed. We have a story tonight about someone who thought they were Dante Hauser. The brown version of Doogie Howser. That's what they thought. I'm telling you, it goes deep, so deep. Because for some reason, there is a need to address whatever is going on inside of them in a low vibrating way versus a high vibrating way. We have it. I mean, these clips certify what I'm saying. You need immediate attention. You're pushing the button for a nurse to come in. You have no idea that this nurse that has walked in means you no good. They are here to harm you. And now you're fighting for your life. Why is this pillow over your face? Why is this nurse suffocating you? Why are they not giving you the proper care that you need? Why have you just, this button and the emergency bell is going off and off and off, but everybody at the nurse's station is laughing and having a good time, and they'll get to you when they feel like it. The nightmare nurse. He or she. A nurse is not just a female. We know that. Male or female. In the village. Running amok. Running wild. Running rampant. Evil. Pretending to be. Portraying to be. But really sent by and doing the work of the Dark One. Seeking to kill and to destroy someone who is depending on them for their help. They know who to go after. They know who to prey upon. They know who to go and befriend. Oh, their smile is so warm. But I just want you to know, what's keeping that smile warm is that lava. The danger zone. They're in lava. Yeah. The rocks, they lick the rocks in Hades. That's why their smile is so warm. Sinister. Low vibrating. And for some reason, they feel like they can come and prey upon people like you, people like me, and someone like me. We have got to get rid of this litter in the village. It's not necessary. How is it that you can go to school, for those of you who actually went to school, for so long and then decide to take those hours and use those hours to be ridiculous and reckless? In the words of T.K. Kirkland, who raised you. You knew you were going to do this all alone? Oh, you'd be surprised. The levels, excuse me, that a nurse will go, a nightmare nurse will go to just to get in position to exact the murder plot, to steal, to harm, to neglect. Could it be that these are the things that they experienced when they were younger, and now, because, as I said, they're operating in a low vibrating behavior, energy, they're out here conducting themselves with bad behavior, evil, unhealed. And then you work in an industry that requires healing, but you're unhealed. And you tell me, how does that work? You can't. You can put the calculator away. We're talking about the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime. That means that there is a succession of questions, and these questions have questions that lead to questions till we can get to the root of why you are the nightmare nurse. Why is this the residence of evil? You know somebody that's a nurse. I believe we all do. How well do you know them? What do they do when they're at work? How helpful are they? Or how harmful are they? What are they doing to Mr. Jenkins in 5D? Or what are they not doing? How did this nurse end up on the beneficiary, as a beneficiary of a life insurance policy? You need to ask these questions. You need to ask these questions. Let's get into it. On the Suspense Files, tonight, the residents of evil, the nightmare nurse. For educational purposes only. These clips are to raise awareness. We'll get into the rest of this conversation after these clips. You are a wonderful listening audience. Oh, my bad. Cheers. Let's drink. And I don't want to say cheers anymore. I want to say joy. So joy to you. Let's get into it. The Residents of Evil, the Nightmare Nurse, on the Suspense Files, on the Sister Speak Show. Hold on. Before you go and book your next physical, I mean, I know you can't help it if you have to go to the ER, but I'm just saying, be careful. Be very careful. I mean it. You may not be the only one that has a fever.
A live investigation that sparked anger all over the United States.
Yeah, DeKalb County grand jury has now indicted 2 nurses and a nursing aide in connection with an elderly veteran's death. The indictments include felony murder and neglect charges.
The hidden camera video of Mr. Dempsey's calls for help being ignored reached more than 5 million people online, many of you expressing outrage and calling for the nurses seen in the video to face criminal charges. Tonight, law enforcement are crediting 11 Alive investigator Andy Parati for uncovering the hidden video that has proven to be so crucial in this case. And Andy, that video remains very, very difficult to watch. We talk about it all the time. It is at the center of all of this, but still it doesn't make it any easier to witness.
It certainly doesn't. The nursing home tried to stop 11 Alive from airing the video in November, even attempting to appeal to the state's highest court. Now, 3 women seen in the video ignoring the patient's cries for help face criminal charges in connection with his death. 89-year-old James Dempsey desperately wanted to live, but 3 nursing home staff working the night he stopped breathing are repeatedly seen ignoring him and laughing when he needed help the most. It happened at Northeast Atlanta Health and Rehabilitation Center in 2014. This week, a DeKalb County grand jury indicted 2 nurses and a nursing aide in connection with his death. Police opened an investigation into his death after 11 Alive uncovered hidden camera video of the incident and video depositions of the nurses changing their stories. Former nurse Lois Agaman of Snellville, seen in the green, is charged with felony murder and neglect to an elder person. Wanda Knuckles of Buford, also a nurse, is charged with depriving an elder person of essential services.
Until the time the paramedics arrived, were you giving CPR continuously?
Yes.
Hidden camera video forced Knuckles to change her story.
And contrary to the way you testified previously, there's no one doing CPR, is there?
No.
And Mabel Turman, a certified nursing assistant from College Park, is also charged with neglect to an elder person.
And instead of performing CPR in an attempt to save his life, you're changing the pillow sheet.
Yes.
All 3 women also face a single count related to concealing Mr. Dempsey's death. Following their indictments, grand jury warrants were issued for their arrests. We're still waiting to hear back from the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office to see if any arrests have been made.
Any response from the nursing home? Any at all?
We have reached out repeatedly. No response yet. And that nursing assistant, who's now faced with 2 criminal charges, she still has her state certification.
Now, these indictments all came following Andy's original investigation, failing Mr. Dempsey. You can go to 11alive.com to see the hidden camera video and to watch the original story. You can also read the full indictment there. All you have to do is look for the story on the homepage.
Nurse is also under arrest, accused of making threats to kill Vice President Kamala Harris. Local 10 News reporter Syra Onwer is live with the details on this one. Syra.
So, Christy, this woman faces federal charges for those threats, but we spoke to her mother. She says her daughter is troubled and did not mean what she said. Nevi-Ann Petit Phelps of Miami Gardens reportedly sent several videos to her husband, who is in prison, threatening to kill Vice President Kamala Harris and claiming that she isn't, quote, really black.
My name is Nevi-Ann Petit Phelps.
Phelps's family members confirm she's shown in this social media video from last year, encouraging people to vote for then county mayoral candidate Steve Bovo. Federal authorities say Phelps practiced at a gun range and recently applied for a concealed weapons permit. Local 10 spoke with her mother, who says the family actually votes Democrat.
I don't know where this thing coming from. I vote for Joe Biden.
Herodia Pettit says she doesn't even believe her daughter owns a gun.
Family never know about the gun.
She says she thinks her daughter believed former President Trump would have gotten her husband out of jail had he won the election. The mother going on to ask the president and VP to forgive her daughter.
Because my daughter, I don't mean it.
Jackson releasing this statement saying, quote, Phelps had been employed at Jackson Health System since 2001. In the last couple of years, she worked as a licensed practical nurse at the Ambulatory Care Center West. She has been suspended without pay while we process her employment termination. So threatening a government official is a felony under federal law. So if convicted, this woman faces 5 years in federal prison. That's the latest live from Jackson Memorial Hospital tonight. Syra Onwer, Local 10 News.
Serious allegations there. Cyber, thanks a lot for...
Certified nurse's assistant now faces second-degree murder charges. A grand jury yesterday indicted 20-year-old Kasim Williams in the death of 32-year-old Virgil Page. The Buffalo man was shot to death in broad daylight on 19th Street back in June.
A Miami nurse is also under arrest, accused of making threats to...
This video is difficult to watch. A Warren nursing home worker manhandling a 91-year-old resident as the security camera rolls. This happened at the Advantage Living Center on 12 Mile near Hoover. As our Priya Mann reports, that worker is off the job and facing charges.
Macomb County prosecutors are going after a nursing home worker in Warren after an elderly woman was viciously assaulted, and the whole thing was caught on camera.
She's being muscled around, pushed around in her wheelchair. She tries to move. They put the other chairs behind her so she can't move.
The abuse didn't stop there. The man was also recorded holding the 91-year-old victim by the back of her neck, forcing her face down repeatedly. Prosecutors say at some point she hit her head, leaving a gash on her forehead.
Where she's striking the desk is not on the camera, but where he's grabbing her and pushing her head down, and then very soon thereafter, she's got a tissue to her forehead, and you can see the scratch on her forehead, and then the defendant actually puts a Band-Aid on the forehead.
But the cover-up didn't work. Her injury raised suspicion, and one day after the assault, Advanced Living Centers in Warren called police.
Someone noticed the Band-Aid, found out how it happened, they reviewed the video, and called the police.
64-year-old Ronald Fletcher was arrested and charged with vulnerable adult abuse. Prosecutors say the licensed practical nurse had only been working at the Warren facility for 3 weeks, and nothing came up during a background check.
You can check someone's background all you want, but you never know what's lurking in their heart. And in this case, obviously this is a bad fit to have this guy here, but they didn't know it until this happened.
Fletcher was briefly suspended and then fired from Advanced Living Centers. The 91-year-old grandmother is recovering.
Who knows what else may have happened there? Luckily we have video of this incident and got him out of there before we get any more complaints about something worse.
Did release a statement. They say we're currently in the middle of our internal investigation and working collaboratively with the local police department and the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. Advantage Living Centers remains committed to continuing to provide high-quality care and treatment to the residents and families we have the privilege to serve. Now, Fletcher faces 2 years behind bars. He'll be back in court later this month. Reporting live, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Very disturbing, Priya. Thank you.
4th Avenue Jail ends up behind bars herself. NCSO exposing an affair with an inmate who has a violent criminal history.
And it begs the question, what would drive a person to break the law in this way? ABC 15's Noelani Graff is digging into this story for some new insight for us tonight. Nohe?
So, most of us think of someone in jail, we picture the bars, clear line, right? For someone to cross that line, psychiatrists tell me it takes a mix of two kinds of people, the easy emotional target and the manipulator. Nursing scrubs traded in for jailhouse stripes.
Giving contraband to a prisoner, it is a Class 2 felony.
The sheriff's office says while working as a nurse in the 4th Avenue jail, LaTanya Hickbottom met Ramon Cummings and a seedy affair unfolded.
The inmate that she had a romance with at least had naked photos of the nurse.
Deputies found them searching Cummings' cell. Hickbottom had been passing the pics through another inmate when he'd come for medical help. Deputies also started eavesdropping on Cummings' calls. On the other end, Hickbottom.
She gave those photos to a cellmate or a pod mate, somebody that was also in that housing when he was in medical getting treatment. Then he took those photos back to the inmate.
You have to wonder, what was she thinking? Who would fall for a convict?
That vulnerability overrides and clouds the ability to see the right and wrong.
Psychiatrist Dr. Michael Yazinski says you can't rationalize it. With a rap sheet of sex assault, gang activity, once accused of murder, Cummings fits a profile that fits right into this too.
It always requires someone with the ability to manipulate as well as to see the vulnerability in somebody else.
Cummings did get his way. She funded his commissary account, agreed to smuggle in drugs, and that's where Dr. Yazinski says it can get dangerous. They not only cross the line, they can lose sight of it altogether.
Typically, it comes to them getting caught. It's very rare that they would stop on their own.
Detectives did search Hickbottom for drugs. She was clean. Today, a judge released her. She's back in court in 2 weeks. Stephen, Stephanie.
No, hey, thank you.
Arrested and charged with murder just as she was about to board a plane to leave the country. She's accused of killing a Queens baby by putting the child in a bathtub filled with water that was too hot. CBS 2's Valerie Castro has the story.
I don't get into the shower by checking the water. Nobody does.
Corey Brock is an angry and grieving father after the death of his 23-month-old daughter, Naomi. Police say the baby died of thermal-related injuries after she was placed inside a bathtub with scalding water. The Queens District Attorney's Office, citing the criminal complaint, says the child had injuries consistent with her having been submerged up to her waist in 130-degree water for approximately 30 seconds. Wednesday morning, police took 54-year-old Oluyemisi Adebayo into custody at JFK Airport as she was about to board a flight headed for Africa. The licensed nurse practitioner is now accused of causing Naomi's death.
She claimed it was a mistake. She claimed she checked the water. It's impossible. If she checked the water, she would have been burnt also.
Brock says knowing Adebayo was caught at the airport says a lot.
She knows what she did. That's why she was trying to flee the country.
Naomi's mother was still too upset to speak to us on camera, but says her baby was born several weeks prematurely and had to breathe through a tracheotomy.
She had her own struggles that she survived. And this right here was not from her nature. Totally unnecessary.
Now the woman charged with caring for the girl is charged with murder.
She's supposed to be trained and certified for all these years. My daughter's kid was in her hands.
Adebayo is scheduled to be arraigned here at Queens Criminal Court tomorrow morning. A conviction of second-degree murder carries a sentence of 25 years to life. In Queens, I'm Valerie Castro, CBS 2 News.
Ken, and thanks for watching. Investigators dropped a bombshell today in the case of a woman shot dead and her newborn kidnapped. They revealed the bizarre motive of the woman who allegedly opened fire.
Now let's get you up to date on what we know right now. The suspect there, Verna Mclean, is charged with capital murder. We're told the 30-year-old nurse who used the very same pediatric clinic as Kayla Golden acted alone.
Authorities say McLean was supposed to get married next month and that she recently had a miscarriage but told her fiancé she had delivered the baby. They say that she needed to steal a baby to cover up that lie.
And we have 3 reporters working this story. Kevin Reese has the latest from investigators at the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office.
And the victim's family graciously spoke with our Sherry Williams and revealed an unusual connection between the suspect and victim.
But first, let's go live to Spring and Courtney Zabowski with the suspect's family right now. Courtney?
Yeah, Len and Greg, we just spoke to Verna Mclean's mother and grandmother. They are distraught, can't understand what's happened, and they say that they are so sad for the family of little Keegan. Now, first, let's go over what we know so far about Verna Mclean. We know that she moved to Houston about a couple of years ago. She had been living in San Diego. She separated from her husband, and they have at least 2 children together. And she moved to Houston with those children to be closer to her parents, and that's who she has been spending time with. Now, investigators say she just had a miscarriage, and she admitted to them that she went after little Keegan so that she could prove to her fiancé that she had his baby. Verna Mclean is a licensed vocational nurse. She works for a staffing company, and sometimes her mom told me that she works in homes privately for those homeowners. She did never work at the Northwoods Pediatric Hospital. Now, again, her mother and grandmother say she is not a monster. She just snapped. Let's hear from them.
I don't know what's going on. That's not my kid. But I'm sorry for the family. That's all I can say, ma'am. This is my mother's house.
Can you tell me about your daughter and how the kids are doing?
They are distraught.
They're distraught.
And how they doing?
People want to hear this, if you could. Now, obviously, a lot of tears shed during that interview. That mother and grandmother who don't want to use their names, they're just trying to figure out how this happened because they say that this is not like Verna Mclean. I'm Courtney Zabowski, KHOU 11 News.
Month in Phoenix. When a woman in a vegetative state gave birth to a baby boy, police began investigating. Police arrested 36-year-old Nathan Sutherland, a licensed practical nurse who was caring for the woman at Hacienda Healthcare Facility. He was identified in part thanks to DNA technology. The woman's family say they are outraged for what they called abuse of their daughter, but made it clear that the baby would be loved and cared for.
We can't always choose how we come into this life, but what we can choose to do as a community is love this child. And that's what we have the opportunity to do. And I'm pleased to say that the baby, I am told, is doing quite well.
Sutherland is charged with sexual assault and vulnerable adult abuse and is being held on a $500,000 cash bond.
Robinson, the teen, marched out of his Florida clinic in handcuffs.
Malachi, they say you've been practicing medicine without a license.
Sitting down with ABC News overnight, released from jail early Wednesday morning on a $21,000 bail after being busted in a sting operation in West Palm Beach, caught allegedly giving a medical exam to an undercover officer. Were you a doctor of anything? Anything at all?
I do currently hold a PhD. In what I don't feel comfortable disclosing because that is not the issue here.
But you
the
treat
issue
people
that
at your
I
office
face now is accusations.
The 18-year-old indeed facing serious accusations from police, 7, including grand theft, and allegedly practicing medicine without a license, and last month he proudly showed off his medical center to our affiliate, WPFB.
This is the New Birthing Life Medical Center.
But peel back the tape, and the sign on the door has his name and these 2 crucial letters, MD.
That sign on the door was actually due to be changed. There are many types of degrees out there that hold the title as doctor, whether they are a physicist or an engineer. Just because someone has the title doctor in front of their name does not necessarily imply MD.
Have you had training?
I have shadowed many doctors.
You're saying your training comprises shadowing other doctors, real doctors. That's your training in medicine.
Your training comprises of a lot of things.
But you weren't in med school.
Exactly. So I am not portraying as an MD. I've never said that I've gone to school to be a MD.
But the teen who goes by Dr. Love does advertise an array of treatments on his medical center website, including phototherapy, food and air therapy, and naturopathy.
I have been studying this particular field for a while. May not have been 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, but it has been long enough to, I would say, justify what I do.
Including apparently treating the elderly. In a criminal complaint, an 86-year-old woman said he recently treated her for severe stomach pain, paying him nearly $3,500. What services did you provide in exchange for that money?
I can tell you this. Accusations are merely accusations. And services, you'd have to define that. Whether she paid for me to just show up, that's up to her.
You're not denying the fact that she paid you $3,500 or so, correct?
No, I am denying that.
Are you a fraud? Because it seems like everything you're saying to me is either evasive or an outright lie.
I don't appreciate your tone. I don't appreciate the way you're portraying this interview to actually be.
And then a moment we didn't expect. Are you in big trouble? I mean, it seems like you've spoken to a lawyer who's prepared you to talk not only to the media, but the police as well.
I don't know where you're receiving this information from, but it is inaccurate. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cut this interview short. I'm going to have to cut this interview short.
And, in fact, he did, walking out the door. Now, we have a standing offer to Malachi to finish that interview. The teen has not yet been arraigned, but insisted throughout the interview he has done nothing wrong. He has also said that when all this clears up, he intends to open another clinic. Amy, George?
Matt, we always appreciate your time.
A man they say impregnated a woman.
Crime is now assaulting our communities. Hialeah police detectives say Naomi Hernandez managed to steal over $17,000 in a scheme to defraud elderly and sick victims she was caring for as a home health aide.
She would actually fill those blank checks out to her name and her boyfriend's name and then deposit it in her account.
Hernandez allegedly made deposits at 2 Wells Fargo branches in Hialeah, and Wednesday morning she was in bond court.
Where you're charged with exploitation of an elderly or disabled adult, organized fraud.
Detectives say Hernandez confessed to stealing money from 2 of her elderly clients. Hernandez was working for a company called Maximum Health Care.
She confessed to stealing from the elderly. In addition, she also confessed to reaching out to the victims during our investigation and trying to pay them off so that they wouldn't proceed forward with our criminal investigation.
And detectives say she also told them there are additional victims out there, but didn't give them any more information to find them. Detectives want the public to be aware of these types of crimes that prey on elderly and disabled people in our communities.
Please do not give them access to your finances. It's against the law and against the policy of many of these companies. If you have been a victim of this type of crime or any crime similar to this in nature, please reach out.
So, ma'am, I'm reading a stay-away order from the victims whose initials are JV and CC.
Hernandez paid her bond and is now out of jail pending her trial. And right now, this is an ongoing investigation. So if you believe you've been a victim of this crime, you can call Crime Stoppers at 305-471-TIPS and give them any information to help detectives. In Hialeah, I'm Claudia Tocampo, NBC 6 News.
Team exclusive. Explosive news in the tragic death of Bobby Christina Brown.
The Fox 5 I-Team has learned a woman who treated Bobby Christina Brown for a month in hospice care illegally posed as a nurse.
Yeah, that's according to the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office and the Duluth Police Department. And tonight, that woman is in jail charged with impersonating a nurse.
Our Fox 5 I-Team senior reporter Dale Russell here now with this exclusive story. And Dale, what else have you uncovered?
Russ, this thing has been developing all day long, and it's really unusual. Investigators in 2 different counties believe Taiwu Sobamawa used another nurse's license number who had a similar name to get hired by a hospice care company. And once hired, police say the woman who wasn't a nurse took care of one of the nation's most high-profile patients during her final days. In September, Forsyth County Sheriff's Detective Jeffrey Rowe received an unusual tip that Taiwu Sobamawa was impersonating a nurse at a Forsyth County hospice care facility, something she had been accused of doing before, according to this District of Columbia alert. What's the worst part of someone posing as a medical professional falsely?
From my perspective, it's the violation of the trust. And to me, personally, that's the worst part about it.
Rowe obtained a warrant for her arrest. Now, you didn't arrest her here. How'd they get her?
We received information that she had fled the state from her residence here in the state of Georgia to the state of North Carolina.
Sobamawa was arrested in North Carolina and booked into jail. But the story doesn't end there. During his investigation, Detective Rowe learned that Sobamawa worked at Peachtree Christian Hospice in Duluth, Georgia. That's the same hospice that treated Bobby Christina Brown during her final days before she died this summer.
Taiwu Sobamawa had provided services at that facility, yes, sir.
At that facility being Peachtree Christian Hospice?
Yes, sir.
And Taiwu Sobamawa was arrested Sunday on impersonating a nurse. And today, throughout the day, Forsyth Sheriff's Office charged her with 2 felony counts of identity theft and forgery. And then Duluth Police, late this evening, filed charges against her for impersonating a nurse. Now, Homestead Hospice and Palliative Care, which hired Sobamawa, said it was shocked and dismayed to learn the news. They immediately terminated her and alerted the state nursing board. Russ, Sine?
So is there any suggestion, Dale, that Sobamawa did this specifically to try to get close to Bobby Christina Brown because of her celebrity?
Yeah, that's the first thing we thought when we first heard this, but according to investigators, as of right now, they don't believe so. She has actually been suspected of doing this in 2 other states prior to this time. It's a high-paid, well-paid position that she worked her way into. And it's amazing when you think about it. Here she was caring for somebody who everyone across this country was following this story and following this care. And here's this woman right in the middle of it.
I'm sure they'll also be investigating whether she had any possible ties to the photos that were linked of Bobby Christina in her final days.
You know, we don't know anything about that yet, Sine, but that's obviously going to be a question that I think as this investigation ongoes, people are going to be asking.
I bet they will. All right. Thank you so much, Dale.
Earlier this week at a local nursing home shows just how vulnerable the elderly can be. All new tonight at 5, our Ryan Raish talks to an expert with tips on what you need to know to make sure your loved ones don't fall victim to this type of crime.
The elderly are the most delicate in society, and they also happen to be the most vulnerable. They are a very easy target.
Case in point, this week the Polk County Sheriff's Office arrested Kathy McLean. She worked as a nurse at Brandywine Healthcare Center in Winter Haven. Deputies say she stole the Social Security numbers, birth dates, and other personal information from more than 80 patients at the nursing home. Investigators say then she sold the info to Derail Bess, who then plugged the data into TurboTax online and tricked it into sending him thousands of dollars in refund money. The nurse has since been fired, and police say there's no evidence the facility knew what was going on. The administrator was not available for comment, but families were.
Yes, it does worry me. It's a shame these people combine in this place and they stealing from them. And I don't think that's right.
It may not be right, but it's nothing new. Alice O'Reilly, president of Volunteers in Service to the Elderly, known as VISTA, says there are several ways to protect yourself.
Make sure that you have someone appointed that you can trust, that's your power of attorney. And then that way, as your health deteriorates, you've got somebody looking out for you.
And if you are in a caregiver role, here's what you need to know. First, don't allow a nursing home to manage your loved one's finances. Secondly, visit often and keep in constant contact. And to really be in the know, check your loved one's credit report.
It is so frightening to think that it was so easy for this to take place.
Ryan Raish, ABC Action News.
Cute.
Point of putting on a bonnet if it's not going to stay on my head. I'm tired of it slipping off and waking up to it the next day. There has to be a better bonnet for me that's stylish and stays on. Oh, child. Ooh, it's the pillow for me. I'm just going to have to sleep pretty. This last shift took me all the way out. I'm going to get a bonnet tomorrow. I can't wait. I'm going to ask Mommy if I can get one for my bear, too. Just as soon as I wake up from my nap. It's time to sleep pretty and protected with these stylish Mommy and Me bonnets available now at kklachey.com. These Mommy and Me bonnets are available in stock and ready for you to maintain your crown. KK Lachey is a look, feel, and vibe. You're able to shop these products and more when you go to the website. It's time to shop and chill with kklachey.com. The latest episode of The Laugh Line on the Sister Speak Show is available on demand now. On this episode, can you take the heat? The origin of the comedy roast. Do some jokes go too far? Plus, naturally funny, Desi Banks, and on tour again, must-see comedians. On The Laugh Line, we are covering all aspects of comedy for all shades of brown people. You will not be disappointed. This episode is rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. It's time to what? Podcast and chill with the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action, a talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Click the link in the bio for this episode. It's time to get lit, laugh, learn, and live. There are some gender reveals that reveal more than just the gender. They can reveal the agenda of a predator. The latest episode of the Suspense Files is available on demand now. The insanity that rocks the cradle. The pregnancy predator. On the Suspense Files, we're covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime, including crimes of passion, deadly relationships, mysteries, urban cold cases, and more. Click the link in the bio for the latest episode on the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. Rated R for strong content, thoughts, and ideas. Welcome back. You are listening to the Suspense Files on the Sister Speak Show. The Suspense Files covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime. It is 3:21 p.m. on a Friday. I'm recording from Dallas, Texas, and we're about to get into this conversation. First of all, I'll say this, it was hard for me to listen to these clips look for these clips and have to do this research. It really was. I'm playing the wolves howling in the background because this is the spirit that you nightmare nurses possess. I don't want you to ever get it twisted or turned around. I don't want you to go out here thinking that it is all good. Nope, your vibration is low, and this is the energy that you possess. The energy of a wolf in sheep's clothing. You pretend to care, but you actually do not. And there are victims. There are past, present, and potentially future victims that have encountered you or will as a result of your low vibrating behavior and the fact that you choose to enter into an industry, a medical field, pretending to help people. You chose to do this. This is what you feel you need to do. And the question on the table is, why? That's the part of the urban crime that we cover on the Suspense Files. Why? What happened to you that would make you vibrate so low that you would inflict more pain on somebody who's already in pain? Why you would be the predator that would prescribe death instead of life? That you would ignore someone's call for help in your care that you signed up for. Some of you cried for this job. Some of you actually had a party when you actually passed your exam or whatever you did to get your certification qualifications to be in this field. But for what? To be a predator? To actually then go around from state to state, city to city, hospital to hospital, clinic to clinic, home to home, being a fucking predator? Giving zero fucks about the trail of tears that you leave as well as blood. You don't give a damn. You are on a warpath. You are on a mission to seek, kill, and destroy. So we know who sent you. There's the who in the Suspense Files. We know who sent you. You work for Beelzebub. You are an agent of darkness. And you get a kick off of seeing your power dominate the weak. That's a dangerous game to play. Definitely your body wash is lava. Definitely you take a bath in lava. In the danger zone. In the gutter of the danger zone. Because people naturally trust those in the medical field to help them. But then when you look in the dictionary and you get to the M section and you go look for the word malpractice, we see that there is definitely fuckery going on and has been going on. Wicked nightmare nurses as well as doctors, but the subject matter is primarily dealing with nurses. That from the 1800s, this type of sinister energy has been permeating the atmosphere in the medical field. And some of these nurses are actually witches. You better understand it. This is a form of black magic, spell work, voodoo that is being expressed. This is low vibrating behavior. Some of you literally never even went to school, but you slipped your way into this industry, this field, and you have been you are an imposter and you have been posing as a nurse, but you don't have not a degree. Certification, qualification. A Band-Aid and peroxide and a little mercurochrome, that does not make you a nurse. Putting a Band-Aid on your teddy bear or playing doctor or nurse with your stuff, that doesn't count. You need to pull back your energy from fantasy land, Alice or Alicia, and you need to really get it together because this is really happening, but you're not. But you're here. For what? For fucking what? Hi, my name is such and such. I'm going to be your nurse today. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to be you're going to be a demon today. But you're not going to be my nurse today. You're going to be somebody that I'm going to end up having to either A, be buried because of, B, barely make it away from, or C, be able to actually whoop your ass. Some of you have it coming. Some of you are going to cross the wrong patient that has, the right patient with the right family members. And those lumps are going to need immediate attention. And wouldn't it be your own reaping that a nightmare nurse would then have to be tended by another nightmare nurse? You better watch how the Lord does what he does. You won't escape. How dare you be from our village, okay? And represent this type of bullshit. We come from a healer. We literally are made in the image and likeness of our healer. The one who is able to make the blind see, the deaf hear, the lame walk, the withered be unwithered, the half be made whole, the insane be sane, the unresuscitated be resuscitated, the unholy be made righteous. There's a pool called Bethesda that the angels came and troubled, and those afflicted would go in and have a spiritual cleansing, a spiritual bath, in order to get off of them what was on them and in them. You better understand what I'm saying to you all when I talk about a spiritual bath, a spiritual cleansing, to use that as a form of warfare against your enemies, because your enemies are serious about the fuckery that they're into. And here you are from our village. Our Creator is a healer. And he literally can heal, is able and has all power to heal any affliction. There's not one that he cannot. So it is in his nature to see something that is wrong be made right. Something that is sick be healed. And here you are with your old Hagatha wartmonger ass being a predator, doing opposite of what you have been created to be. You are fucking up and have been fucking up your own life. I mean that in totality. You need to hear it. Let this be Ruthless Records for you. You don't need any type of sugar, cream. You don't need anything. You need to hear it as it is. And you know who you are and you know who you are not. This episode is not for the ones who vibrate high. This is for the ones who vibrate low and need to change and want to change. And this is also for the ones who vibrate low and won't change. You still gonna get this work. You come from a healer and you're out here killing people. Your panacea is a prescription that is going to actually cause an allergic reaction for this patient, but you don't give a damn. You're on a warpath. What's wrong? As T.K. Kirkland would say, who raised you? And as Sister Speak is going to ask, what's in you? There's a need to dominate in you, and the domination that you are seeking is reckless, and it is causing harm where it's supposed to be a healing energy going on. The Lord did not, the Most High God did not sit there and say, oh, well, you're blind and that's just what it is. Now, I'm not saying everybody got healed. It is his choice to heal. Just know that he is able to heal all if he chooses to. That's his discretion, his and his alone, his and his alone. But if you look at the lineage and the resume of our Savior, he is a healer. And the joy divine that you embrace once being healed, because you have been healed by the Most High God. He did not sit there and say, don't come unto me. He said, come unto me. Come unto me. Those who are weary, those who are worn, those who have been bruised and battered, those who are up against it, even with the demon in the cemetery, which we knew to be called Legion as he casted it out. And it went into the pigs, which then went into the river and committed suicide, so to speak, but literally they all jumped to their death. This is an energy, and even with this man in the tombs, literally cutting and scratching, being kicked out the village because of the demonic spirit in him, and the only place it could go was where it was familiar, which was by death, near death. Darkness, doom. The Most High God did that thing. So what I'm saying to you, the only type of darkness that needs to be in you, it should be around you and not in you. It should be even in darkness that you're healing. But it should not be that you are the darkness that denies and delays the right to care. The attitudes, the stank attitudes that some of you nurses possess. Literally, what the fuck are you doing? Did you just go to school so you could wear the scrub so people could see that you have some type of affiliation with the medical field, but all the while you give zero damns about helping or healing? You just want to be a hindrance because you're possessed by something that is low vibrating. Let's talk about it. You got your scrubs on and you are a scrub. Let's talk about it. You need a good scrub down to get that thing off of you, because whatever is in you that have you laughing at a patient who is saying, help me, there is a fucking problem. But that patient is not the only one who is saying, help me. Your ass is too. While you sit there with that relaxer in your hair and it took a video to show you. And you don't give a damn. Some of our sisters and some of our brothers, and I'm going to really direct this to our sisters, you got some fucked up attitudes, and you know you do. And if you don't know you do, I'm telling you to do. And nah, it ain't your Bobby Brown. It's not your prerogative to walk around here being miserable and bitter and then having that energy wherever you go. Every other city we go, we see the same hoes. Mean that shit. Mean it. Because you're with the shit. And it's not cool. You're supposed to be wiping up the shit. But here you are letting the shit stay. Negligent. Help me, help me. And your ass is sitting there laughing and didn't do shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? I mean that tonight. I'm passionate about this. This is real in the field. These who, what, when, where, whys. This is what leads to coming to a resolution, coming to a solution for the pollution, because the panacea right now is not the prescription that you're providing, nightmare nurse. Do you understand the lawsuit, the jail time, the loss of job, the stain on your resume as a result of you not caring? It's an energy, it's a spirit, it's an oh well. Our people are lacking empathy on a high level, malnourished when it comes to being in tune with genuine, caring, kind feelings, going around with these fucked up attitudes. And can't nobody else talk about my people but my people. If you're from the nations, don't take this and say, yeah, I told you so. No, fuck you, because you're part of the problem. You're an ingredient as to why we vibrate the way that we vibrate. Don't start chucking beer mugs together so fast. But these attitudes have to go. Like the attitude of a dragon. Just evil as fuck, your energy. And you are in the what field again? You're doing what again? Hell no. Hades, no. Sheol, no. Gehenna, no. Lake of fire, all of that. There's something wrong with you. You need to know that. You need help. You are the patient. And you have no patience for your patients. And therefore, they are suffering as a result of your energy. Malachi. Excuse me, Malachi. Dante Hauser, come here. We need to talk. I know that you said in the interview that you're done with your interviews and you don't like the tone, but we don't give a damn. Because you know what we don't like, Malachi? We don't like booking appointments with people who we ain't supposed to really be booking appointments with. There's too many malpractice lawsuits and deaths that have occurred behind people like you and your energy. You, at the time, 18 years old, operating a full-blown clinic. Obviously, you got some smarts to you, but you ain't wise. You're not wise. You're smart, but you're not wise. Because if you're wise, we wouldn't even be talking about you, Malachi. First of all, Dante Hauser, anybody named Malachi outside of the book of Malachi and the Holy Spirit, in the Word of God, I don't do Malachi's at all. Well, why is that, Sister Speak? Because I saw Children of the Corn. Their leader's name was Malachi. I'll never forget that. There are leaders' names that you need to remember just in case. Hitler, Suge Knight, Jason, Freddie, Michael Myers, and Malachi. Malachi was with the shit, and he took over the town and the children. It was an energy. I don't drive by cornfields. I don't eat corn chips. I don't do corny things. I don't do corns on my toes. Nothing corny. No, Malachi, no popcorn. No corn on the cob. Now, and I do like corn, but I'm just saying for understanding, Malachi had me shook up. And obviously Malachi is loose again. Sir. As T.K. Kirkland would say, who raised you, and as Sister Speaker's going to say, what's going on inside of you? What's up? I don't do Malachi's, and this is the reason why. You could be booking an appointment with somebody, thinking that this is a legit doctor's appointment, and find out that this is not really happening. No, what you have entered into is a Fisher-Price clinic. Yeah, this clinic is ran by Fisher-Price. That's a Fisher-Price stethoscope, temperature taker, high blood pressure. Everything in here is all Fisher-Price, and this bed is made out of Legos. As a matter of fact, this is Funland. This is what I used to do when I was a kid. I got my first doctor's kit when I was 3 years old. And my mother can tell you all about it. Yep, she can tell you all about it. I got a doctor's kit when I was 3. And this was a gift at the end of this, in December. And I opened up my doctor's kit and began working on my patients. My first patient was my mom. I went in there, I had to check her temperature, her blood pressure, all of that. And it was so crazy because my mom was sleeping with her arm hanging off the bed, so it was easy to get her blood pressure. It was like, she's a good patient. That's when I was a doctor. I'm a healer now. I'm a healer with my words, with encouragement. I actually vibrate high. And my whole goal as a nurse, if you will, as a light worker, is to provide the proper medicine and prescription that the doctor said that this patient needs, so this patient can actually be healed, because I want to see the patient healed. And although I have experienced pain, I have also experienced healing. Who am I to vibrate low when the Lord has actually healed my body and still continues to heal my mind, body, and soul? So it would only behoove me and push me and press me towards a purpose that I would want to see other people in the village get off of their sick bed. But no, you want them to stay sick. You don't give a damn. We don't do the Malachi's, and we don't do the 3 sisters that when you call for help, they don't come. And if they do come, they're not coming to help. They're coming to hell. Not heal. They're coming to hell. They're coming to give you hell. And the question is, what the fuck is wrong? What goes on at home? What happened? I want to know where you live. I need to know all about you so we can get down to the root of what's going on. Some of you have a chance and some of you don't. These are big facts. Big facts. You better know it. My goodness. I mean, just the audacity. And it must be that some of you nurses know how to fight. You must know how to fight. Why you say that? I say that because somebody's going to whoop your ass. That's why I say that. And I don't know if you've ever been jumped. And I'm not inciting violence. I'm just telling you, this is the rage that occurs as the result of you not providing the ethical right to care for the elderly, disabled, for anybody. 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 My gosh. Come here, sisters. Just, I want you brothers to listen as well, but come here, sisters. Because you know what? This is an epidemic. This is a consistent problem in our village. Listen here, nightmare nurse. You can't have a relationship with that brother who's incarcerated. He's still vibrating low. And the energy has got you where you are compromising your well-being, your lifestyle, your welfare, everything for a nigga that gives zero fucks about you. And you have to know that. I have expressed to my brothers and sisters, and I will always say, you're going to have to stop sending nudes. You are playing with fire when you send nudes. I don't give a fuck about your spice, your spice, your sugar. I don't give a fuck about the passion, keeping shit. Look. Stop taking all of these worldly excuses and suggestions and influences and incorporating them into your marriage, because they're fucking your marriage up. Okay? They're fucking up your relationships. How do I know? Because there are countless stories of people talking about leaked nudes, revenge porn, the photos being shown to their friends and all over, getting on the internet and being sold. I'm telling you, that ain't spice. That's bullshit. That's lava. Oh, you just hating. No, you're hating. You're hating on your whole existence because you choose to vibrate low. I don't have to send nudes. That's just not my thing. A man of character, a brother of class, a brother of integrity, a brother who chooses to actually vibrate high is not going to ask me to do that, because he would expect me and appreciate the fact that I respect myself. And he'll love me enough, or you enough, to not require that of you. There are certain things that a man of valor, a man of high vibration will never ask his woman to do. And that's a period. That's a point and a blank. He'll never ask you to do those things. You will not find yourself trying to balance righteousness with unrighteousness because you feel dominated and don't want to lose whatever the fuck you think you have. And a lot of you sisters, and I'm not talking about the sisters who are in relationships and then your man gets arrested and goes, okay? That's a different conversation. I had to hit pause, so I'm going to start with my train of thought, so just bear with me. So as I was saying, our sisters are putting themselves in a position where you're dealing with the man in jail, but some of you sisters actually choose, and this is still within the realm of what I'm talking about, but I have to say this because I'm still on assignment, okay? So just follow. Some of you sisters feel comfortable actually dating and marrying a man or being with a man in prison. You prefer that for a sense of what you feel is security, but that is not security, my sister. You are insecure. In fact, you feel that by being with this man in prison and actually that you don't have to worry about being cheated on, and you don't have to keep tabs on him because you always know where he is, and he's right, and the relationship is comfortable for you because you don't have what it takes to actually function in a real relationship. So you're settling for this surrogate step relationship that's only going to cause you problems. Now, getting back to he's not cheating on you. What makes you think a man incarcerated cannot cheat and doesn't? Boo, come here. I don't know where you've been, but that rock must have been heavy that you were under, because if he wants to cheat, even incarcerated, he's going to cheat. And if you send your man nude photos, you just sent half the prison your nude photos. And if you don't think that he hasn't shown your photos, then that means that he is of a small percentage of men who are caught up in the system and will never get caught up again and actually ain't with the shit. Okay? That's the only thing I can say. Because some of you like, my man wouldn't show any of the photos. Okay. Okay, you just heard what happened to this sister. She took the pictures, gave them to him in the medical unit, and then he passed it to another prisoner. Okay, that's one of the ways that she got caught. She was sneaking in contraband. For what? This nigga is already in here for being with this shit. He's a street nigga. He does street shit. He has not changed in one day. How do you know? Because he's asking you to do shit that can get you caught up. If he cared, would he get you caught up? You so desperate to be a ride or die. Don't let these rap lyrics get you fooled. A ride or die. Ride or die. Either you ride or you die. It ain't, oh, she a ride or die. No, it's either you ride or you die. It's the feeling of, I don't have a way out. I have to say yes. I have to do these things. Jail dick. I'm talking about incarcerated dick. Penis. Rated R for strong content, language, and thoughts. I'm just saying, this is what you're going for. You're like, behind the bars penis, prison penis. This is what you want. This is out of all, and I'm not, listen, I want you to be celibate, first of all, but there, on the outside, when you get to go home every day, you see men, right? But for some reason, you want this type of penis. This parole penis. That's what you're into. Now, I'm not making light of anybody who's been, I'm just being, I got to say what I got to say. I ain't going to make no apologies. You feel where I'm coming from. Some of you have, your confidence is suffering, and that's why you're in crisis, and that's why you are doing these things and getting caught up with these karmic men, these men who mean you no good. And you obviously don't mean yourself any good either, because if you did, you would not do the things that you're doing. And you have an opportunity to change if you want to, but if you don't want to, it's only going to get lower and hotter. No man that cares about you will ask you to do something that will fuck your life off for the rest of your life. Do you understand that? I love him. Ma'am, no, you lust him and you need to learn about him, and then maybe you can learn. Maybe you will be blessed with a man that you could say, I love him. There's no way that you love him because you're willing to do anything for him. That's not unconditional love. That's dysfunctional love. You're willing to go above and beyond, willing to actually put your nursing career on the line for a nigga that wants you to put your nursing career on the line. It was a play and a plot from the beginning. He hates to see successful women. He hates to see women in power. You were a person in power, regardless of your position. You had power. And he could smell that energy. And the question is, are you working in a prison because you were looking for a man? Was this the whole play from the beginning? Speak about it, sister. Speak, because we're going to uncover the crime. We got to get into it. We're going to ask these questions. Did you apply for the job as a nurse because you knew for sure that you could get somebody to like you and want to be with you, because the women, the odds, the ratio of women in there, we already know. And so now you have a chance that you feel the other women don't have, and you now you got your pick literally of the litter. Excuse me, your pick of the gutter, and it's a free for all for you. But the risk to have sex, the risk to sneak the contraband, the risk to send nude photos of yourself only for it to be leaked. What did you think this nigga was gonna do? He's my boyfriend. Ma'am, that's the problem. You need a husband. Boys are gonna do childish things. He's not your friend. If he were your friend, he wouldn't ask you to do these things. I hope there's a sister in the village, even if it's just one, who is writing a letter right now saying it's over, or just completely disappearing. Because when you're dealing with somebody in a criminal situation, you have to be careful how you escape. So some of you right now are literally in it deep when it comes to relationships with men in prison. They need complete rehabilitation. The last thing they need is a woman being a part of their rehabilitation. I am not saying I want them to be in there doing sodomy, participating as a sodomite. What I'm saying is the original intention of prison is rehabilitation. And you sending pictures of your hairy hot pocket ain't it. Passing that thing around. They don't know if National Geographic sent that or what. They don't know if they found that. I think we found Bigfoot. I'm just saying, what was that you sent again? Ma'am, you're in your 60s sending hot pocket shots. Barf emoji. We cannot do this. And you have all of these men fantasizing regardless, because some of them may not get these type of photos. And guess what? This nigga just made money off of your photos. He sold your photos for 3 packs of noodles. Damn it. Shit. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Ma'am, your hot pocket sold for 3 packs of noodles in prison. Just want you to know that. I know. I would be crying too. I would be crying too. Yeah, because that lets you know that you probably are too sexy for these photos. Maybe this isn't it. Maybe you should give, Kodak camera a break. Maybe you should back up from the Polaroid. You know what I mean? Maybe. I put it on flash. That's why they thought it was Bigfoot. I'm telling you, ma'am, these photos ain't it. This is not about body shaming. This is about shaming you to the point to where you don't do this so you don't have to encounter public humiliation, right? Because there are some individuals who will not do right, even though they have promised you that they will. Just like these nightmare nurses. They promised to do right, but they had a hidden agenda, a motive. And they decided to act upon it, and there are victims, okay, that are past, present, and future, because in the village, brothers and sisters are entering into the medical field, and some of them are coming out from the residence of evil as the nightmare nurse. I'm telling you, some of you are trying to be a ride or die for a nigga that could give a damn whether you die or not. There are some there are some brothers and sisters who will see that you are in a position of prominence and power and be jealous and will plot and plan to bring you down to a level that you never thought you would go to. And now you're doing things that you normally would not do. And a lot of the answers are, I don't know what happened. I don't know what got into. I don't know. It's the energy. It's the power of suggestion. And if you have been dominated as a child and you have been around this type of low vibrating energy, you are susceptible to making these decisions. Some of you did get into the medical field because you were wounded. And some of you got into the medical field and you want to make other people feel your pain. And that's not the way to do it. That is not the way to do it. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks. There won't be any more warnings. That's why your heart is beating fast. He's out there again. You can see him from the stage. He's obsessed with you. That's why he's taking your pictures. You're his fantasy. The latest episode of the Suspense Files on the Sister Speak Show is available on demand now, rated R for strong content, language, and thoughts on this episode, fantasies and felonies, strip club killers, On the Suspense Files, we cover the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime, including crimes of passion, deadly relationships, mysteries, urban cold cases, and more. Click the link for the latest episode of the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action, a talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Be careful. Try not to fall in love with a stripper. Murder, mystery, intrigue, suspense, all of the elements that make up the Suspense Files on the Sister Speak Show. And the latest episode is available on demand now. On this episode, Expelled, No One Will Tell, Murder in the Student Body. On the Suspense Files, we are covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime, from deadly relationships to urban cold cases and more. For all shades of brown, people, this episode is rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. It's time to click the link and podcast and chill with the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action, a talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. If no one tells, someone may get away with murder. Are you going to let that happen? We'll see. Welcome back. You are listening to the Suspense Files on the Sister Speak Show. You know, I tell it like it is. I'm not going to hold back any punches because it's the fuckery, time for the fuckery. The fuckery is over. And our village is suffering from a lot of bullshit. And this is bullshit right here. The relationships, you know, I saw one of my other podcasts that I listened to speaking about the divide between male and female. And this is it right here. And, you know, if anyone is suggesting to you that you compromise yourself, you need to ask yourself, why are you even considering the compromising? Why are you actually considering compromising yourself? The sister who was working in the nursing home and you stealing all the social security numbers and you passing on to this dude in the hood and he's over here getting these tax returns. No wonder there was a delay in people getting their tax returns because of this type of fuckery. Listen, yo. Listen, I understand what it means to be up against it financially. I understand what it means to hit rock bottom. I understand what it means to struggle. I do. And I do know what it means to make low vibrating decisions in the midst of your struggle. And I also know what it means to make high vibrating decisions. I choose the latter. I choose the high vibrations now. Okay? So what I'm saying is, it's the energy that you're in that is going to dictate what you are considering compromising in order to gain a profit that will eventually backfire. All this shit eventually backfires. Plans and attempts to fuck up the village even more, that shit backfires. So it's a temporary thrill. What you're really saying is, all I'm doing with my life is going from amusement park to amusement park. It's just for the ride. And it's temporary because I can't stay on this ride forever. So I'm just going to keep going until I get sick or I fall off or they just shut down, whatever it is, shut down the amusement park, whatever it is. How long are you going to continue compromising or considering compromising what you know will fuck you up in the long run? People in my village, I'm asking. Brothers, why do you ask sisters? Some of you brothers ask sisters to do shit that's low vibrating. I know why, because that's where you're at, in the gutter. I'm asking some of you brothers, when will you change? Oh, it's not cool to change. That ain't your swag. That ain't how you get down. That ain't square biz. What is it? What is the reason why you don't want to change again? Because I want you all to vibrate high and I want you to get out of the fuckery that you're in. So we are not making suggestions to one another to go down a pit that we may not be able to be delivered from. Your power of suggestion is off. There's no electrical current running through that. That's you're powerless because you're not suggesting anything that would create a beneficial harvest for the village that we can all eat from. What you're suggesting is, hey, I want to take this woman away from her kids because my mama was taken away from me, because I saw my mama doing fucked up things, or your mother might have been a nurse and you have a bad relationship with your mother, so something clicked in you. But either way, you need therapy, brothers and sisters. I mean this. The sister who was a nurse that killed to cover up her miscarriage because she wanted to keep her fiance. The power of being able to let go is a joy divine. We all can relate to not wanting to let go of somebody that we needed to let go of. We knew this nigga wasn't shit. The nigga was fucked up. He vibrated low, was doing scandalous things, a cheater, a liar. He could only hold up that love bombing for so long. Yeah, you could smell shit. You knew the nigga was funky, but you kept holding on to him because I ain't never had. And then you fill in the blanks of that bullshit. And then here you are caught up in an entanglement. That's the real entanglement. That's the real entanglement. You don't want to let go. And you're willing to do anything to keep this man. That is low. That is a low form. I'm telling you, there's no confidence there. That's a lack of confidence. And we have to do the healing work so we can expect better and not accept worse. They can smell the energy. I'm telling you, I know the difference in myself from when I operated in a low energy versus now. It's real in the field. I would never consider doing any of the things that I did in my younger days, in my low vibrating days. Okay, I'm serious about this, so I know what it is for some man appear to have a hold on you. No, it's a strong hold indeed, but it's one that has manifested inside of you. This man just met you. That thing was already inside of you. And we have to extract it. We have to put ourselves in a position to where we say, I can't keep being a ride or die. I can't keep asking these women to go out here and compromise their well-being to keep this crime organization going. These suggestions do not come from any other place but the idle mind, the idle workshop. And a sister that's willing to kill another woman, as I talked about in the insanity episode on the Suspense Files. Do you understand the level of despotism and how demonic someone has to be in order to go to that length to keep a man? To keep him. There's not enough Gorilla Glue in the world that will keep a man that does not want to stay. And there's not enough Gorilla Glue in the world to keep a man that the Lord wants to remove from your life. You can't stop God from removing who he wants to from your life. You do know that, right? And if you're on the job as a nurse, a nightmare nurse, TikTok. You want me to do a TikTok? No, I want you to understand TikTok. It's only a matter of time, sis. If you don't stop, brother, that, you're going to get caught, exposed. Do you want that to happen? I know you don't. I don't want that to happen. But I'm glad that it did, because we need to know who the fuck you really are. Yeah. Who is this woman giving me a Band-Aid and a lollipop? Who is this woman taking my temperature? Who is this woman taking my blood pressure? Who are these people in this facility? How well did you do your background check? Because obviously, according to these news clips, somebody slipped through the cracks. She was willing to do whatever she had to do to keep her man. How far have you gone to keep a man? What have you done? Was it worth it? Was he worth it? Was she worth it? Mm-mm. How far are you willing to go to be a disaster in the medical field? If that man chooses to leave, was it worth it? If he chooses to stay, was it worth it because you still got caught? The happily ever after never will manifest because it's out of order to be a nightmare nurse, to be a part of the residence of evil. That's not how the Most High God works. You do know that, though. I know you do. Oh, brothers and sisters. You know, I don't condone initial violence. I don't. I don't condone initial violence at all. I do condone self-defense. Some of these stories, especially the one about the patient who got pregnant in a vegetative state. This is the part where I'm going to probably have to get some bond money ready because I'm fucking up everything in sight. I am appalled by that clip. The need to have sex and the opportunity that you think that you have to have sex will cost you your life. What is going on in some of these people's minds? You have to ask yourself, what happened to make things not click in this man's mind? You have been trusted to look after my loved one. My loved one in a vegetative state is pregnant by you, which means that you had sex, you fornicated against my loved one's will without a condom, without consent, and you never thought it was wrong. There are some people who cannot be redeemed. They are reprobate. Everybody has a chance. This isn't TBN. You're going to have to go somewhere else where you can get that kind of conversation. That ain't how this goes. Some people are reprobate and there is no hope for them. And there are those who there is hope for. When you sign up to help heal, that is what you are supposed to do. But instead, when you sign up to help kill, this creates an episode, not only for me to record, but it creates several towers in your life. Who neglected you? When you cried as a baby, did somebody ignore your cries? When you fell down, did you just have to get back up and that was it? Nobody came to kiss your boo-boo or put a Band-Aid on, and tell you you're going to be okay? What was the nurturing aspect of your life like? Did you receive the proper nurturing that you needed in your time of need, affliction? Were you sick as a child and didn't get the proper medical care that you needed? Are you surviving from Munchausen, where your mother was making you sick just for attention or just so she could come in and save the day? Is that what you suffer from? Did you not get the proper medical attention that you needed as a child? And I'm not talking about just going to the doctor and hospital. I'm talking about in home. Mommy's going to make it all right. Daddy's got you. No, you're going to be okay. Because that might be the reason why you're a nightmare. You are looking for healing yourself, but instead, the misery is dominating you and making you a nightmare to where you're fucking up in the medical field and you're fucking up other people's lives because you are living in a fucked up energy that you have got to heal from and come out of. Otherwise, you're going to be a news clip. And not even that. You can't sleep. You're getting no rest. You're tormented. You toss and turn. You have to take medication in order to close your eyes because every time you close your eyes, you see the patients who you neglect, abandon, harm, and possibly even have murdered. You can't keep the lie going. If they find out that you're not really a nurse, like the one who was working with Bobby Christina, snuck her way, used another ID, infiltrated the system, worked with Bobby Christina, and then Bobby Christina ended up dead. What the fuck happened? How did you slip through the cracks? What goes on in somebody's mind that they wake up and say, today I'm going to be a nurse and I am going to sneak into a celebrity hospice and I am going to help administer hell instead of healing to a patient and be possibly, potentially, allegedly a reason why this person is dead? You defame yourself. You're slandering yourself. You're putting yourself on the guillotine. Why? Bobby Christina, she'd already been through so much. And here you are, posing as an angel of light, but you're really an angel of darkness. Damn. How many of you are lurking around this world right now? Not a none of a degree, certification, but you're in here with the shit. Hi, such and such. I just wanted to check on you and see if you're okay, if there's anything I can get you. Just as sweet as shit. With berries in it. Scat. No, seriously, you got everybody fooled. Oh, she's so sweet and kind and nurturing. And no, this bitch is on a warpath. Stay tuned. Is that you? Are you willing to lose it all because of the lack of medical attention that you received? Is that why you are so much a terror? I'm asking. Because you need healing. You need surgery, stitches, purging. You need literally a new heart to be created in you. You're wrong, so you need a right spirit. The residents of evil, the nightmare nurse. You never know who's coming when you hit that bell. You never know who's going to show up when you put out that ad. You have no idea who this person really is. Not a clue. But what you do know is something is wrong. Not only with you, but with the nurse in the room. You've been a wonderful listening audience. I thank you so much for paying attention. Pray for discernment. Pray for boldness. You cannot afford to vibrate low. People wear masks, smiling in your face, but they are backstabbers. And that's not an epidural they're putting in your back. No, that's a knife that they're putting in your back. Too friendly. Hiding a secret. Forged documents, paperwork to infiltrate the system. In the system, terrorizing unsuspecting people who need desperate medical attention, care, healing, hope. You further make those who are already skeptical even more skeptical and have deeper trust issues when seeking help. If I call 911, will I end up getting a nightmare nurse? Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer, my God, my rock, in whom I take refuge, and my shield, the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I return to sender, the enemy trying to block my chakras. I've got something to play before we go. Oh, no, I don't. It didn't even show up on here. Well, anyway, brothers and sisters. Oh, no, here it is. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. This is Sister Speak with a word of encouragement. No matter what the enemy or enemies try to do to you, God will cause their plans to take no effect. And the pit that they dig for you, they shall fall in. If God be for you, who can be against you? Now say it with me. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Be encouraged. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. We are divinely protected. I return to sender all black magic, voodoo, witchcraft, all negative, demonic, satanic activity and intentions. I return it to sender and reverse it till you mirror it back into your bosom 100-fold, that it has an adverse effect unto you immediately. I'm a gangster with this. I'm a warrior. We are warriors and we have to mount up. And this is a word of encouragement on my way out. I'm serious about this, brothers and sisters. You better stand in your power, and you better find out that you have power. Stop giving your power away to people who do not give a damn whether you live or die. They don't give a damn how much work that it took for you to get to where you are. They are hell-bent on destroying it. Stop giving giving people access to yourself that mean you no good. Stop trusting everybody. Stop using that whole I'm a Christian. Stop that bullshit. No. If that's what you're using, that's why you keep getting whooped. I'm telling you like it is. Stop giving the best parts of yourself to the worst people and then not having enough to give back to yourself. It doesn't make any sense to take better care of somebody else and then not take care of yourself. It makes no wisdom to do more for somebody else than you're willing to do for yourself. The fact that they can see that you're willing to go above and beyond and actually crawl through hell for them, do you not understand they get a high off of that energy? That you're willing to actually compromise. They think you are a fool for doing that. That doesn't make you, oh, I'm unconditional loving and I'll do anything for my man. You better stop that bullshit and write down a list of do's and don'ts, wills and won'ts. Trying to keep a man, trying to keep a sister, willing to do anything, even if that means going to jail. Hell. None of your plans will prevail. Seriously, brothers and sisters, I want you to get this into your spirit. Nobody who cares about themselves would ask you to do something that would fuck your life off. Do you understand that? That would fuck your kids' lives off. That would have you out here up against it. You need to understand, well, I don't want to. I'm telling you, you're vibrating low. That's why you're even compromising right now. I'm speaking to somebody, not just one person. I know I'm speaking to several people today. Some of you have actually compromised your whole well-being for somebody who does not give a fuck about you. And I'm asking you today, what are you going to do about it? You're going to keep on doing more things to try to make him smile? Ah, man, she went and got 52 social security number for me. Damn, ask her to go do this. And when the first time you say no, he slaps the shit out of you. Do you not understand? Now you're in a cycle of abuse. I'm speaking to somebody today. I'm speaking to a nurse today. I'm speaking to a cashier today. I'm speaking to several women in several positions who are dealing with niggas who don't do shit but play in the streets all day while you go to work from 9 to 5. I'm speaking to a brother today who's dealing with a female that gives zero fucks about you. Zero. And is asking you to compromise your entire dignity, integrity, and lifestyle to make their world better. Are you willing to compromise yourself for somebody else? I didn't think so. Be encouraged.